Hello, today we are going to learn about how to divide fractions. Here you have a set of steps on how to divide fractions. Turn the second fraction upside down. So I'll give you an example, a simple example. For example, if you have a half divided by a 3/5. Turn the second fractions upside down means this is the second fraction. Turn it upside down. So I'm going to write to express all the steps one by one, what they mean. So upside down means from 3/5 becomes a 5/3. The second one says change the division sign to multiplication sign. There you go. And then the third step says multiply the numerators, multiply the denominators. So the first fraction stays the same. So we have 1/2 times 5/3. And then obviously follow the rules you learned on how to multiply fractions. So 1 times 5 is going to be 5, 2 times 3 is going to be 6, and that's it. And look if there is any simplification, which in this case, 5 and 6 don't have any common factors. 1/2 divided by 2/3 means 1/2 times 3/2. So change the second fraction upside down and change the division to multiplication. So now multiply numerator by numerator, denominator by the denominator. So 1 times 3 is 3, and 2 times 2 is 4, 3/4. Again, this fraction can't be simplified further. Here we have a number divided by a fraction. Someone might think, well, not both of them are fractions. If you have a whole number into a fraction situation, it's good to change that whole number into a fraction by adding 1 as a denominator. So we are going to have 4/1 divided, so I'm going to write the second fraction as it is by 3/5. And here you go, we have two fractions. So the one fraction divided by another fraction. And then following the rules of how to divide fraction, we're going to have 4/1 times by, so change the second fraction upside down, 5/3. 5/3. So the answer is going to be 4 times 5, 20, 1 times 3, 3. 20/3. And again, we don't leave improper fractions like that. We have to change them to mixed numbers. So 20/3. There is 6 whole 3's in 20. So 6 times 3 is 18. 18 to 20 is 2. And 2/3. 6 and 2/3. Again, here we have the division of a fraction by a number. We add a denominator to number 12. So express number 12 as 12/1. And then, as you see now, we have a division of a fraction by a fraction. We need to change the second fraction upside down and also change the division to a multiplication. And so we are going to have 3/8 times 1/12. Now, before we go to multiplication, have a look at the denominators and numerators. Is there any common factor that we can simplify? I can see a 3 here and I can see a 12, and I know that number 12 is in 3 times table, which means I can express the 12 as a multiplication of 3 and a 4, and then see what we have. So we have 3/8 times 1/3 times 4. And then you see now we have a common factor, 3, that appears in both numerator and denominator. And the whole answer is going to be 1/32. Next one. Here we have a mixed number divided by a mixed number. I would strongly advise you to change both of them into improper fractions, and they apply the rules of how to divide fractions. So the first one is going to be 3 times 1, 3 plus 2, 5. So 5/3. And then write it exactly as it is. All right, take this step because it'll save you time later if you make a mistake in the way to the result. And this one, 4 times 2 is 8, 8 plus 3 is 11, so it's going to be 11/4. Here now we have two fractions, both of them improper fractions, and following the rules of how to divide fractions, we are going to have 5/3 times 4/11. Okay, and then look, is there anything I can simplify? Any common factors? No. So let's go for the multiplication of numerators together in the denominators. And don't forget, that is the rule of how to multiply fractions. So 5 times 4 is 23, times 11 is 33. So 20 over 33. Any common factors? No. So we leave this fraction exactly as it is. Next one, we have 2/3 divided by 0.4. So we have a decimal number. Again, we must change the decimal number to a fraction. So 0.4, actually this is in a tenths. So this is a tenth, so it's 4 tenths. So divided by 4 tenths. There you go. And again, we follow the rules of how to divide fractions. So change the division to multiplication and turn the second fraction upside down, times 10 over 4. There you go. And then here, look if there is any division, any common factor on both numerators and denominators. I can see a 2 here and I can see a 4 here. But actually, I can express number 10 as a multiplication of 2 and 5 at the same time. So there you go. This is what is going to happen. So 2/3 times 2 times 5 over 4. And I know 4 is a multiplication of 2 and of 2. So if you write numbers, denominators, or numerators as a product of their factors, then you can see. So it's going to be visual on what to cancel out and why. So you have 1, 2 here and 1, 2 here, both common factors. We have another 2 here and another 2 here. Both of them are common factors. And so what we're going to have left, we have just a 5 on the numerator, so 5 over 3. Again, we have here an improper fraction, and we must change this one into a mixed number. So 5/3, how many 3 is going to 5? So it's 1, 1, 3, so 3 to 5, remainders 2, and then 1 and 2/3. And this is the final answer. Now, 1.2 divided by 2/3. Again, 1.2, we need to change that into a fraction. It becomes this, the last digit is the 2, is a tenths. So it becomes 12 over 10. 12 over 10 divided by 2/3. And then here, applying the rules of how to divide fractions, we're going to have 12 over 10 times 3 over 2. Okay, and then 2 expressed 2 as a multiplication of 2 and a 6 divided by 10 times 3 over 2. So we have a 2 and a 2 on both numerator and denominator. And both of number 2, in this case, it is a common factor for these fractions. And that's why you cancel that out. And then so we have 6 times 3 left on the numerator. 6 times 3 is 18, divided by 10, which is in the denominator. Now again, it's an improper fraction. We must change it to a mixed number. So 18 divided by 10 is going to be 1, and 8 over 10 equals 1. And both of them are in 2 times table. So if we express 8 as a 2 times 4, 10 as a 2 times 5, then we're going to have, so 1, 2 times 4, and then 2 times 5 for the 10. And then you see the common factor is 2 on both of them. So the final answer is going to be 1 and 4 over 5. This is the final answer for this exercise. So remember, if you have a division of a whole number by a fraction, or a fraction by a whole number, or by a decimal, always change whole numbers and decimals to fractions. And then apply the rules of dividing fractions, and of course the rules of multiplying fractions. Right, and here you have your independent work. In the first one, you have two proper fractions, both of them, so division of two proper fractions. Number B, here you have a decimal dividing a fraction. Of course, you have to change the decimal to a fraction. C, you have a fraction that divides a whole number. You must change the whole number to a fraction by, remember, adding 1 as a denominator, and then apply the rules, apply the steps that I put in the first slide. And here you have a mixed number dividing another mixed number. And again, you must change them to fractions. In this case, improper fractions because they're mixed numbers. So this is the end of the lesson. Well done for watching. Bye.